NASA's terrifying discovery, the planet that acts like a living creature. Imagine looking deep into the endless darkness of space and finding a world that seems to breathe, react, and change almost as if it were alive. It sounds like something from a science fiction movie, yet modern space exploration continues to uncover planets so strange that they challenge everything we think we know about the universe. Some distant worlds behave in ways that are difficult to explain, showing dramatic changes in temperature, violent storms, mysterious atmospheric movements, and cycles that make them appear almost like living organisms. Today, we are exploring one of the most fascinating cosmic mysteries ever discovered, a planet whose unusual behavior has led many people to compare it to a living creature. Although it is not actually alive in the biological sense, its constantly changing environment creates an illusion that captures the imagination of scientists and space enthusiasts alike. This extraordinary world exists far beyond our solar system, orbiting a distant star hundreds of light years away. Unlike the calm and predictable planets we are familiar with, this alien world experiences extreme conditions that transform its appearance over surprisingly short periods. Its atmosphere shifts dramatically. Powerful winds race across its surface at unimaginable speeds, and enormous storms reshape its skies again and again. What makes this discovery truly astonishing is the way the planet appears to respond to its environment. As it travels around its star, its atmosphere expands, contracts, heats, and cools in repeating cycles. Massive clouds form, disappear, and reform, while scorching temperatures can suddenly change across different regions. To an outside observer, these continuous transformations resemble the behavior of a giant living organism adapting to its surroundings. Scientists study these changes using advanced space telescopes capable of analyzing tiny variation. A planet that appears alive. The discovery focuses on a distant exoplanet whose constantly changing atmosphere, weather, and temperature cycles make it appear as though it behaves like a living creature, even though it is not biologically alive. The idea of a planet appearing alive comes from the way its environment behaves in a constantly changing and highly dynamic manner. Unlike the relatively stable conditions found on Earth, this distant world experiences dramatic shifts that seem almost intentional, as if the planet is responding to something around it. Its atmosphere does not remain still for long. Instead, it expands, contracts, heats up, and cools down in repeating cycles that create an illusion of movement and awareness. Massive clouds form and disappear in a continuous rhythm, while powerful winds reshape the upper layers of the atmosphere in ways that resemble breathing or pulsing. These transformations are not caused by life, but by extreme physical forces such as intense stellar radiation, gravitational interactions, and rapid temperature differences across the planet's surface. What makes this behavior so fascinating is how closely it mirrors patterns we associate with living organisms. On Earth, living beings respond to their surroundings through internal systems that regulate change. In a similar visual sense, this planet appears to react to external conditions, adjusting its atmospheric structure in a continuous cycle. Scientists emphasize that there is no biological process involved, yet the complexity and rhythm of these changes create a powerful impression of something alive. This perception challenges human intuition and forces us to rethink how we define life, motion, and natural behavior in the universe beyond our planet. Extreme and ever-changing environment. The planet experiences violent storms, powerful winds, extreme heat, and rapidly shifting atmospheric conditions. These continuous changes create one of the most dynamic planetary environments ever observed. This distant planet exists in one of the most extreme environments ever observed in space, where conditions change so violently that the entire world seems locked in constant motion. Instead of calm weather systems like those on Earth, it is dominated by massive atmospheric turbulence driven by intense heat, stellar radiation, and powerful pressure differences. One side of the planet may be exposed to a blazing star, reaching temperatures high enough to vaporize metals, while the opposite side remains in deep, freezing darkness. This extreme contrast creates unstoppable winds that rush across the planet at incredible speeds, carrying heat and gases from one region to another in a continuous cycle of destruction and renewal. The atmosphere itself is not stable, but constantly reshaped by these forces. Giant storm systems form rapidly and dissolve just as quickly, creating shifting patterns that cover the entire planet. Clouds made of exotic materials may rise and fall in layers, appearing and disappearing in a matter of hours or days. These conditions are far beyond anything experienced on Earth, making the planet a natural laboratory for studying extreme physics. What makes it even more fascinating is the speed of these changes. Instead of slow seasonal cycles, the planet transforms in real time as it orbits its star. This creates a world that never looks the same twice, a place where chaos and order exist together in a constantly evolving balance driven by cosmic forces. Advanced space telescopes analyze tiny changes in starlight passing through the planet's atmosphere. This allows researchers to identify gases, measure temperatures, and monitor weather patterns from hundreds of light years away. Scientists study this extraordinary planet using highly advanced space telescopes that can detect incredibly small changes in light from distant stars. When the planet passes in front of its star, a tiny portion of starlight filters through its atmosphere before reaching Earth. This light carries hidden information about the gases, temperature, and structure of the planet's atmosphere. By carefully analyzing these subtle signals, researchers can determine what elements are present, how the weather changes over time, and how energy moves across the planet. Even though the planet is hundreds of light years away, these techniques allow scientists to build a surprisingly detailed picture of its environment. Each observation reveals new surprises. Slight variations in brightness and spectral patterns show that the atmosphere is constantly shifting. Clouds may appear thicker or thinner depending on the planet's position in its orbit, and temperature differences can change how gases behave at different altitudes. These small details, when combined over time, create a dynamic portrait of a world in motion. What makes this research so important is that it expands our understanding of how planets behave under extreme conditions. It also improves the tools and methods used in astronomy, helping scientists study other distant worlds more effectively. With every new data set, the planet becomes less of a mystery, yet at the same time, it raises even more questions about the diversity and complexity of planetary systems throughout the universe. The universe is stranger than we imagined. This mysterious world joins a growing list of extraordinary exoplanets, including lava worlds, planets with metal-rich clouds, and gas giants with enormous storms, proving that the universe is far more diverse than once believed. This discovery is part of a much larger shift in how humanity understands planets across the universe. For a long time, planets were imagined as quiet, stable worlds orbiting stars in predictable paths. However, modern astronomy has revealed a far more complex reality. There are planets covered in oceans of molten lava, worlds where glass-like rain falls from toxic skies, and gas giants with storms larger than entire continents that rage for centuries. In this growing list of extreme environments, this particular planet stands out because of its constant, almost rhythmic transformation, which creates the illusion of a living system. What makes these discoveries so important is not just their strangeness, but what they teach us about nature itself. They show that planetary systems can evolve in ways that are far beyond human experience. Each new observation forces scientists to refine their models of atmospheric physics, chemistry, and planetary formation. These findings also help improve predictions about how planets behave under different stellar conditions. As technology improves, telescopes become more powerful and sensitive, allowing researchers to detect smaller and more distant worlds. With each advancement, the number of known exoplanets grows, and so does the possibility of finding environments that challenge even the most advanced scientific theories. This ongoing exploration continues to reshape our understanding of the cosmos and our place within it. the search for even greater mysteries. The discovery highlights how much remains unknown about the cosmos. With billions of stars and countless undiscovered planets, future space missions may reveal worlds even more bizarre, reshaping our understanding of planets and the possibility of life in the universe. This discovery ultimately leads to one of the most profound questions in modern science. How much of the universe still remains unknown? Even with powerful telescopes and advanced detection methods, humanity has only explored a tiny fraction of the galaxy. The Milky Way alone contains hundreds of billions of stars, and many of them are believed to host their own planetary systems. Within this vast cosmic ocean, countless worlds may exist with conditions far more extreme, unusual, or surprising than anything currently observed. The idea of a planet that appears to behave like a living creature is not about biological life, but about complexity and constant change. It challenges the traditional definition of what it means for something to be alive and pushes scientists to think more deeply about patterns, motion, and adaptation in non-living systems. These reflections are important because they expand the boundaries of scientific imagination and encourage new ways of interpreting data from space. Future space missions and next-generation observatories are expected to reveal even more extraordinary planets. With improved technology, researchers will be able to analyze atmospheres in greater detail, detect smaller worlds, and possibly identify environments that resemble early Earth or completely alien systems. Each discovery will add another piece to the cosmic puzzle, gradually revealing a universe that is far more dynamic, diverse, and mysterious than previously imagined.